we're the purple group.
This isn't the right presentation.
They just have the exact same stuff. Purple team. We had too many purple teams.
With
We can
the
give them
new
a
file.
presentation.
Yeah, this isn't new, so now it's a different.
You gotta like log in.
There is a 1 p.m. file. Maybe you're in there.
We should be there because we skipped it. But that's the new, where's the 1 p.m. file? Oh, yeah. No? Let's get on us.
Could be one of the two nameless files. I did not get everybody's file by 10, and I got a number of files that didn't let me know which class they were in or what team color they were, just so you guys know. Which I found intriguing because I thought I was really pretty clear about what I wanted.
They're climbing on the steps.
Funny how that works. Pardon?
Ours is in the file.
I'm not keeping track of it.
Okay, so we're Team Purple, and we are doing chapter 3 in the book, and we took ours to the woman manager from that type of perspective.
Right, and we thought this would be a good quote to kind of address what we needed to address for them, saying that kind of the business workspace is mostly in the style of a more American way style that we have to look out for if we're talking to people, and that we addressed certain parts that they would have to look at for their male and female coworkers and what to kind of discuss with them through this chapter.
So textbook example from my personal experience. I used to work at a Nike back in Houston, and I had 2 managers, 1 female and 1 male. And the male would always like kick back, like if you came to him with a problem, he would find a solution, like, yo, don't worry, just chill about it. Whereas the woman manager would like go out of her way to make sure like it got done in like a sociable manner, make sure like everyone was treated fairly all the time, as well as solve the problem.
So for confidence and boasting, this plays a huge role if you have a woman manager, because as a male, you're walking into basically an environment that you're not allowed to be doing this kind of things. So her values of confidence would be more focused on the actions than the words that some male is just going to say. So it's key if you have a woman manager to be able to express and show your talents and skills instead of trying to talk about them. And then because of this, it's not going to be as valued unless you had a male manager that would take lightly to these kind of things.
So for indirectness, the chapter for indirectness, the section for indirectness in chapter 3 explained that women are much more likely to be indirect because they grew up in a culture where if they were too direct, they were considered as bossy. So we said that the manager needs to work a little bit more towards being much more direct and explain to the employees that, to the female employees, if they feel overbeared by the directness, that it's not anything personal and it's just them trying to get the job done.
Feedback. The feedback that she should give employees should always be a compliment first, lighten the following criticism. And when you apply criticism, you should always do it with respect. She begins by telling the employee that they're inadequate, then they put up even lesser position to strive, and bad emotions start to foster. So most males, when you tell them something bad, they go to the flight or flight because most males are primal. Save face by complimenting any type of employee first generates goodwill and keeps employees happier. If you're always complimenting your employees at the right time, they're always gonna like you as a boss better.
Alright, for credit, this was kind of an interesting one in giving credit, because if she's going to give it out, she has to actually look for the actions herself with the confidence and look at the workspace, rather than taking it at face value, because the men are going to probably boast more and say, yes, I've taken this on, while the quieter ones won't step out too much, or the females won't as well put themselves out there, because in the book it was kind of saying that if they put themselves out there and kind of put them as undesirable and more male-like, it kind of put a target on their back for other female coworkers or male coworkers as a challenge. So what the female manager has to look out for is kind of balancing credit as itself and making it a workspace based on purely effort and kind of where everyone shares a bit of the credit so that the workspace grows together rather than just on one person and putting targets or putting other people up solely by themselves.
When it comes to racial opposition, the main thing that a female manager would have to do is to realize that an argument should only exist around that discussion. It should end afterwards. With males, we have a tendency to let go the second we're done fighting about something. Whenever you're arguing with a friend about whose team is better, the second that conversation is done, you two are back to normal. You realize it's just a discussion, even though it seems somewhat aggressive, whereas with females, they tend to hold on. They kind of put more emotion into the actual event itself instead of holding on or instead of forgetting about it, realizing that, hey, we're just talking about something and got a little heated. So for a female manager, in order to succeed, especially with male employees, she needs to let go of that particular discussion. If anybody's been in a relationship, they totally understand what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's pretty much summed up right there. Males are going to let go. It's a one-time thing. It's done.
And that concludes our presentation.
So, of all the things you guys mentioned for a female manager to consider, is there, if you could only give one piece of advice to a young woman entering into the workforce, what do you guys think is the most important?
I would say not to be too aggressive, but to be assertive and to ask more questions when the time is right.
Yeah, I would just say don't worry about being bossy. It gets shit done. You know, it comes off better, in my opinion, to male employees if, you know, somebody's directly telling you what they want done, when they want it, how they want it done. And it'll be a way to sort of streamline the process of that, whatever she's doing. The directness is key, in my opinion.
And I know it also said in the book that males actually take things that females say more literal, so I don't know how to improve on that, but just to make sure that they don't take it too literal.
Okay, so then that sort of gets into the second question. What's the one piece of advice, and I know you guys were just talking about women here, that you'd give a man entering into the workforce?
Something that they didn't really talk about that I think is huge with the power of talk is the tone of voice or the reflection of how you're coming across. And I think that's huge for men and women, is just being cognizant of how you're coming across. And you could say, hey, that's a really nice shirt, or it's like, hey, that's an awesome shirt, like I really like that. So just using that tone of voice I think is key, with especially men being able to be very powerful with their voice and be very like ostentatious and out there. So I would say that it's just a reflection, something they didn't talk about, but just tone of voice and how you can come across.
Yeah, one of the critiques I get for when I'm in the classroom is that I'm very terse in my language, and that can get people feeling a touch uncomfortable. And what I'm trying to get at is clarity, and I can still be extremely terse. So I apologize right now. I've bared my soul. Good stuff.